Hello there. For those that were expecting this live stream, my name is Gabriel Gruba, and I'm gonna be today's host and live streamer doing this live coding. So yeah, greeting to everyone that's in there, that's already in the stream. So really nice to have you all here. That's always a lovely moment to us to have you here and talking with us, stating our questions, and yeah, it's lovely to have you here. Yeah, as you may know it, my name is Gabriel Gruban. I am the developer advocate here at Meteor. And yeah, I'm working on the core team for a while. I know a few bits. And yeah, what we're going to do today is continue our, as you may imagine from the title, we're going to continue our live stream session with the university. Please do not forget, and I beg you that are watching, please, I beg you to follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Please, if you have any doubts, any questions, please send to us. I would love to answer them. And anything that you might have, I'm really happy to answer it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it as an introduction to you all. What we're going to be doing today, as I mentioned, is to continue the university, and to be more specific, we finished last week on the collection on the hooks and so on. And this week we're gonna be doing the OAuth and account settings. So this one is a nice week because yeah, I think Meteor does the best. Is like one of the best frameworks out there that has like everything baked in it, and it's really easy to just set up accounts and start working and start doing things. And it has a little like changes that happened in the 2.0, and that's what we're gonna see today. I, from the team, from the open source team that host told me, I think everything looks the same, or there is a little issue that here and there, but yeah, we'll discover together, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So let me open the my browser so that we can see these classes, and later we can start coding. But I guess we can start with the whole screen actually. Let me just check if I can open here, found. So yeah, let me open the whole screen. So here we go. Let me get to my desktop, my personal known CD desktop, my work environment, Meteor slash tests. There is a uni one here. Nice. So the code out here. Yeah, we're good to go. Just a second, guys. Also, I need to remove those animes that it's not so good for later on. Let me change here. I think I need to do settings, Jason. Settings. This one? Yes, it's this one. So, yeah. 0. Let's restart VS Code. And yeah, now we have a great everything set it up here. So yeah, this was the uni project. So in here last week, if you guys have seen it, then let me open it a little bit more. Let me zoom, zoom in. So if you guys can see it last week, if you guys were here, or if you weren't, so it's a quick recap. I explained it to most of you how to install and use Mongo collections, how they are basically handled, and how you define them. And because MongoDB is really not tightly integrated with JavaScript, but it works in a document JSON like schema way. So you can create it fairly easy. In for me, the best overall experience with MongoDB is with JavaScript, and yeah, you create your object and you can insert it. And in this case, we are defining a schema. So I'm saying that we're going to be having this person schema that's going to be having ID, a name, an age, an address, and all those fields. And whenever it is like, sometimes it cannot have the string, or the state is a type of string, but it's the same as this one. And yeah, it's really fun to have this kind of thing on MongoDB and giving it schemas. So that's what we did last week. This week, what we're gonna do is gonna talk about Meteor accounts. So this one was made by Felipe some time ago, And what it does, it explains, from what I recall, yeah, it explains what it is, the Meteor accounts, and it has a lot of packages, a lot of uh, libraries, things that are done so that we don't have to work a lot on it. So, for example, let's see if there is here a setup here. I think there is. Yeah, there is this Meteor template, and then you can add. Yes, exactly. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, you'll be able to add the 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 sign in with password. So what I will do, knowing what you know now, I will create this sign up. So I will create a new project, from scratch, so that everyone there doesn't have to like. You don't have to follow. It's nice so that you can follow every step. It's really fun. It's really good so that you can have a whole project. But in this case, I will write like a really simple application where we can sign in and sign out and log out and get some data from the user. So yeah, let's get started. So what I will do is the Meteor dash version. Which version I'm using? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm using the latest beta. So let's do Meteor create. I will say accounts accounts uni, and yeah, it will use it's downloading, and yeah. Oh, it's nice. So yeah, that's great. Actually, that's great. So what we will do? Let me just enter this uh, count uni and do a code dot there, and then we can start coding a bit. So since last week we haven't updated the let me open the terminal here so that I can show it to you. We haven't updated the skeletons. So what happens is when we create our app, it will show nothing. But then I've shown you how to update the React packages. So what I will do is recreate the remove and add again, because for the time being, our the latest beta has this issue and it's being addressed. So yeah, it doesn't show anything, but it's actually like a non-issue. So what we will do, let me get the name of the package here, is React Meteor data. And so what I will do, Meteor remove React Meteor data. And I'm not sure what the Meteor React Meteor data. Let me see here on Atmosphere. And when you don't know like which is the latest version of a package, you can go here on Atmosphere. So for example, I do like this, and I can find the React Meteor data, and I actually can find somewhere here the betas. Somewhere here, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think there was a way. Let me see if it isn't like in the Pacosphere. There is also other great website that you can use. So, for example, it behaves similarly to yes, it's this version. So it's like this. Oops. So I would add meter data add, and then I can do like this. So the versions are here. So from what I recall, for some reason, the Atmosphere one doesn't report the beta versions, but I think it makes sense because yeah, it only the active to use, and beta, like for some people it isn't like active to be used, or like how I can say this is like the person that has done this release says like it's to test. It shouldn't be like added to any project like when it's first created like in a skeleton. But well, we have solved the issue. Now, if I run Meteor, it will render correctly my app. So if I open up on localhost 3000, my app is here, it's loaded, and everything's fine. What we'll do is follow the tutorial says that we need to set up or sign in a password. What I will do fairly quickly is to create the proof way to sign in. So let me add here somewhere. I'll create a new component that's called sign sign in.jsx import React from React, and yeah, what will happen on this? Like for a signing, what we need is to export signing exactly. And for most signings, I would say that it needs exactly what it does there. So I would need let's do a const email, set email, and set password, and that's it. For me, that's the main point here. Just a second, guys. Yeah, someone is. Let me just. Yeah, no, done. Yeah, for so yeah, the my I live like in a building, and sometimes it has like some crazy things happening, and then they like go, yeah, Gabe, I need you to answer this, and yeah, hopefully my beautiful wife will do this. So for now, what we'll do is have like this input, and what it will do on the on submit, I will create a function here called on submit, and it click an event, and what it will prevent the fall and meet your login with password. For now, I won't use this because here is the sign up actually, not sign in. So yeah, I'll leave sign in for now, and yeah, you can use meet your login with password. So for the user needs to have a mail and a password, and when it's here, on, wait for the compiler here to help me out. On click on submit exactly, and yeah, before we do this, I will just log in so that people can see it. Also that login mail and password, and that's pretty much it. Then we can import here on our app. Late after here is it sign in. So we created the whole component here. Let's wait till it's refreshing. Yeah, something's wrong. What's going on? Oh, use state's not defined. Yeah, add.use state. Add.use state. Now should work. Yeah, it works. So this is a signing, for example. So I can say some email, submit email, with some password. I just type it anything, and it console logged here for me. And whoops, what I did here. Let me just place it like this, and now it's okay. Now, if we open up our docs, so if we go here on docs, which I guess can use the new one, v3 docs, and we open up the accounts part, and that's what they're going to do today. It's built on top of user ID and publish, and it has a lot of cool things. But the quickest way to start with it, I think, is here. Or it's just like Meteor add accounts. I don't recall. I think it's Meteor add accounts. Yeah, I think this should work. I actually don't recall how we can add accounts base. I think it's just like yeah, just to just by adding account's password, it already creates for me the account's password. So yeah, that was it. That nice, nice. So yeah, thanks to you, Meteor. Like he managed for me. Yeah, exactly. So I would actually add here a way to add the user, but that's pretty much it. So if I sign do here whenever I submit, I ask for the Meteor. Like, what is the user ID? User ID, and I ask Meteor dot user ID as it says states here. It's a reactor source. I need to import Meteor actually. Import Meteor from Meteor. Perfect. So if we run our project again, and it might sound like a little bit boring, but yeah, many frameworks have this way, and I like to teach most people like this. Is like you add the package that brings you the accounts, and we'll construct this together. So you will have a component that will have the email and the password of the user, and what do you do is whenever you click to sign in, it will tell you if the users are logged or not. But yeah, this is just to show that the user ID is new because he isn't logged, right? So to in order to log in a user, we have here a function. Let me get it here. Is login um, with username or email or ID and password. That's really nice. And then, but then you might ask, how can I create a user, right? So that's the fun part. We can have like create user. I think, yeah, accounts create user. Let me find it here. Yeah, you create like this. So what happens? Yeah, exactly. So imagine that this sign-in page, what it will do is it's either going to create a user with the login and the password, or either log with like we'll create a new user with this login or password, or it will log in the user. So what we will do is make this function async, actually async function, and then if Meteor user ID is null, it's not present here, so it's not present. What we will do, we need to create a user, so we need to import accounts dot uh, oops, create create user async, and off we go, like exactly like that. I think it's yeah, exactly. You pass in the options. So we pass in the email and the password. And actually, we need to import from globally, like import accounts from Meteor base. Exactly. So if there is no user ID, we do an await here actually and create the user asynchronously. But it returns a promise of it. So let's see what's the result. So it probably is the user, and I can do like this sol.log u. So that's it. 1 second. Yeah. So let's see it. So if I create a some email.com and I say the password is full and I sign in, it's undefined. But then, yeah, it should have created a user. I'm not sure. Let's see what the docs has to say to us. So if I ask in the user to create a user async, which should work. That's weird. And if I run like this now and run Meteor user ID, so I'm supposedly to be logged, but for some reason it got this undefined. Let me do it. Yeah, I'm logged. So yeah, that's correct. So Yeah, that's weird. But okay. So yeah, let's recap a bit. So for some reason I wasn't logged. Yeah. What happened is whenever I call the on submit, if there is no user ID, I would create my user, and I can actually focus on a logic here so that we can have uh, a better logic here. So that what I would do is I would try, if there is no user ID, I would try creating a user async. So I would try doing this, and if something happens, I think there is an error. It says an error there. Let me get it. The error. It says like, let's see the error. Console log here. Console log error. And I will not log my password. So if I restart the project and I say some email.confu, yeah, there is a user ID already logged, and it have not done anything wrong. But if I click sign in again, it should go wrong. No, yeah, that's weird. Something's not correct. Oh, because yeah, because I'm not getting in here because I do have the user ID. So if I don't have a user ID, I'll try creating a user. If the user already exists, and I'm sure that there is a way here to check if the user already exists. Let's see here. Let's here. Yeah, there is here one, but this is server only actually. So yeah, nice. So different. But I hope everyone got to the point. Like, let's get to the first one. It's to create a new user. So if there is no user ID, I will create a new user async, and that's it. That's how I would do. So because then the logic starts to get a little bit tricky. And what I would do so that everyone can get on the same page is I'll have this sign up page. So sign up, and if there is an error, I will throw an error, and that's it. I hopefully no one never does this, but yeah, that's for this case. And yeah, that we think about it. Yeah. So when we start, we prevent default. If there is no user ID, we create a new user, and that's mostly it. But then you may ask, like, yeah, I don't like this because someone can be already logged and can appear here on the sign up, and you are totally correct. So what normally I do to not happen this to make sure that the user only, like for example, you can use this validation to join to make sure that the person that can only a logged person can see a route or can see a component. What normally I do is I wrap this in a use tracker so that it's tracked by the React. So what I would do is like in here on the app, or actually here, I'll do it. No, I'll do in the app actually. It looks better. So I would do like this, and then the app just like this, and returns. Oops. Return like this. Perfect. And instead of if there is a Meteor user, so let's say that I would say that const is logged, it receives a use tracker. And what it will do in this use tracker, that's called Meteor user ID. So what happened here, let's say is ID. So user ID. So what this use tracker do is tracks in the React ecosystem the like it creates a use state and tracks within the React components this reactive state of Meteor, because Meteor has its own reactive system as well. So this use tracker will do both. And now we need to import Meteor from Meteor. Oops, from Meteor, and we need to import use tracker from here exactly. And now, if for example I have an user ID, I what will happen is if I have an user ID, I'm logged in, not logged in, for example, and I can leave here. So I'm logged in, as you might see here. Let me just remove this garbage here. Yeah, perfect. So when we I'm logged in, and there's a sign up here. So what I will do, I will have another component here, and it's like if there is a user ID, I will show a component. I'll say that it's let's create a placeholder here, like div here, and what we'll have here is gonna be like a logout. Otherwise, if I'm not logged, I will show sign in, right? So that's the whole point. Works. Yeah. So I'm logged in and I will show logout. I'll create a button here so that you can have here. So I'll create a log out, and it's a function, and there is the meter logout. So I will actually do a button here. Button log out, and click. I will log out. Perfect. So if what look the magic, right? If you click here, I'm not logged anymore. And that's perfect. Like in less than 20 minutes, I've created the whole like I've created with you guys, and it's been some time since I haven't done this. In Meteor 3, I've created the like for example a login system, Like I have a way to know if the user is logged. So I have if it's logged. I have a function to log out the user, so we can just call meter logout, and it will log out the user. And let's say that I want to log in now again. Uh, if I try to sign in, because this is a sign up actually. So if I try to sign up, and let's say I have some email.com and my password is foo, it will do an error there. It showed me an error, like it already exists. So what I will do, let me think about it. What I would do, I have like a sign up and mm, yeah, actually, I would try to do the exact opposite. So what I will do, I will try to log in with the user, and no, yeah, I'll do something different now. Not sure. Yeah, because I can create a user, I can log in a user, for example. Like I have this, like if it throws an error, I can do like a new try, for example. This would be like the simplest, like login with password. And if it catches and it's completely wrong, then it's like something is wrong. Like uh, something is wrong. Because then everyone that creates a whole new, oops, I did something wrong. Oops, I think I forgot to close the bracket. Yeah, I'll try this one. Let's see if it works. Let's just see the login with password if it's okay. Login with password. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, we can start like some email.com and have a password that's full. If we like here, the log is not so good, but it'd be like um, user already exists. I'm not sure. I'll try. I'll try login. Yeah. So this is like that's the logic that I did here. But we could like make two components, for example, one from sign up and one from sign in, and it would be like similar to this. So yeah, so I'm logged in now. If I click log out, I need to sign in again. If I say some email.com and some password is true, and I or user exists, I'll try logging in, and he logged, and I'm in. So this, for example, is like this is what I can do. We can check if the user has already an email in the code base. So what you can do, and I think it's server only for what I could see, is we could check uh, like it's I think it's find by email. Let's see if we have an email here somewhere. Oh, I think it's a lot. Oof. Yeah, find. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, find user by email, right? Find user by, yeah, you can find most people. like most you can find the user by email, for example. So what I can do, for example, is create a method here. Is like meteor.methods, and I'll create a function called check email. I'll receive an email, and exactly this is the most simple one, the simplest way to do it. And I need to import accounts actually. So import accounts. Oops, accounts. Perfect. So here, instead of doing this whole try catch thing, now I can do like const user exists. I can call the check email. If user exists, if it doesn't exist, if I would tell that doesn't exist, and then I will create a new one. So I'll wait, count create and return, and that's it. Else, if the user does exist, what I will do, user exists, I will await meteor.login with password. Perfect. And then we can do like, I think our whole and I can remove actually this user ID because I'm sure that I won't have it. And now our logic is way more clear. For those that believe me, please type something in the chat. If you have any questions, sorry that I focused a lot on this, but yes, that's pretty much like how I would do, and it's a call async actually. So call async. If you guys have any questions, you can always send me. Yeah, let's see if it works. Just a second. So I logged in, not logged in. I'll call some email.com and some password is full, and user exists, and it logs in me. So yeah, that's how I mostly do things. Like that's not how we should do it, but yeah, and I don't need this also this. So this is how you can do it. Like this is a way you can have like error messages, but for this example, I think it's good to have just like um, an if and else, and that's it. Let's see what we have next in our university classes. For now, yeah, to make verify the user. Yeah, I have the verify email, right? Exactly. Because, and that's another nice thing, I will run here on the, let's see, the app here. We can, we have another object that's necessary to us to understand the Meteor, like the power of Meteor, and I'll get to reset account. But before we talk about resetting passwords, what else I would tell anyone that is trying to understand what's the power of the Meteor accounts. The next thing I would say is the Meteor user helper. So I'll call here const user, and I'll have Meteor user exactly, and I'll do like a console log here. And you guys gonna see that's an insane object. Like that's an insane object with emails and the ID. Yeah, it doesn't seem much. Like for me, it doesn't seem much. But if we do anything, for example, like if we log the user, if we created the user with a username, for example, or let's see other thing that we can have. It's here. If we create a user with create user here, if we create a user passing any of these fields and or like the profile, for example, it's really nice. So let's do it here. Create user async. We'll pass a password and an email, and in the profile, I'll say that the profile and and I'll say something like name John Doe or John Doe and likes ice cream, for example. Ice cream. Perfect. Oops, I forgot here. Thank you. Perfect. So if we log out our user, log out, and I say I'm now John at email.com, and I have this password true as well. Something is wrong, right? Yeah. John email.com, and I say true. User exists. Wait, something's wrong here. Let's see the email here. all.log email. Foo at email.com, and I say John. User exists. Yeah, something's wrong. User not found, actually. User exists. Something's wrong, actually. So there's this foo, and when I call check email, if user doesn't exist, wait, what's the result here? All of the user exists. Yeah, let's see. Foo at email.com. Foo. It's true. Check email. Something is wrong actually in our base here. So if I do check here my check email method, let me get the result here. So I will do like const user, account check email, and console log user, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's different, right? Foo at email.com. Foo. Ha! We got ourselves an error. Let's see if it's like this because of this async. And now I need to await it. And yeah, let's try it again. Sign in. Undefined. And now user is undefined, right? Or no? Yeah, it's undefined. So I can return like Boolean of user. Yeah, something's wrong. Let's see. That's fun, right? Foo.email.com. Foo. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, that was the issue. So actually now find user by email and let's see if the docs are correct. Actually, right? Find user by email, and there is another instance there. Oh, it's actually a promise, and I haven't. Yeah, sorry, guys. My bad. My bad. So yeah, if I do this, I check if the guys already exists, and if it doesn't, well, yeah, you know what happens. And if you look up here on the profile, is where you can send all your data that you need. Like for example, I said his name is John Doe, and I said that he likes ice cream. So this is the power of Meteor user that you can actually add things to this. So let me add another one. Let me find it here. I think is user accounts of eight user. I don't recall. Profile, I think. Let's see if there is a way to change the profile. Meteor users, that's the thing. Yeah. Here, create user. I think that's yeah, let me check on Google, like update profile Meteor user. Yeah, there is already solved, and maybe there is me there's helping people. Yeah, what they're saying here. Set username. No, that's not what I want. Like, yeah, probably this one is correct. The you set it like this. Yeah. So for example, I will say that let me create another method that says async set set user to like pizza. I would say that he likes pizza now, right? And I need an ID, an ID, oops, an ID. And what I will do is actually just run this. So it's gonna be a wait, update async. Oh yeah, actually I don't need the That's another fine thing about Meteor. You can call Meteor user ID anywhere. You don't need to call it on the client. You can call it anywhere you want. And then we can do like this profile dot something. And we know that we set the profile here, profile dot likes. So what I will do is say profile dot likes pizza. And yeah, I think that's supposedly will work. And how I will do, where I will add it, is gonna be on this page because I know the user is here, so I have this profile here, and then I can add it here on the app as well, like uh, again using the user ID. If he has an user ID, I would add a button here like this one. Otherwise, nothing. Oh, oops. Otherwise, null. And in this second button, I will have I like pizza. I like pizza. And what I will do in this function is like const set user like pizza, set user to like pizza. That's the function. Let's be call async. And oops, call async. And let's see here on the set user to like pizza. Perfect. So if we refresh our app here, I know his profiles here. It's here. If I say I like pizza, whoops, something wrong happened. Wait, something wrong happened. Oh, thank you, thank you. I think I broke the user then. Thank you a lot. Yeah. Maybe I broke the user. Not sure. Let's create a new one. Foo at email.com and our password is foo. The user already exists. And the user is here and I have profile who likes ice cream. And if I click in here, saying to, oh, that's, yeah. Another thing is like, the function was to log out and that's why he logged out. I was like, yeah, why is logging out? So if I click in here, it should change the user to say his profile likes pizza. So yeah, now you guys know how to change the profile, the user profile, and that's like I would say not that now you have like 90% of the knowledge related to how to handle users in Meteor in general. And then now we go to the nice part that's like the most like what I think to be the most interesting one is the resetting password. And let's see if we have another one. I think is how to use passwordless, but this one I think is still valid. I think I will show only how to reset a password, and I think we have done everything, like everything that has to be updated or shown in a different way. But yeah, that's really nice, right? Like how can we like in less than 1 hour, and so we can have like a whole ALF system, and that's the magic of Meteor, right? So now that we have a user, we can create a user, we can set its profile, we can do all sorts of things, and we can log in if it already exists. We can have one that's I lost my password, and I think this one is like I for what I recall is fairly easy. But let me see. Reset password. Yeah, exactly. So you say so. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, I don't recall how to. Yeah, I think it's forgot password, right? Yeah, if you have email configured, you can do this. But yeah, because I don't have email configured, like if you call reset password, it will get a token, and the person should pass in the token, and then you can pass the new password, and it will render correctly. But I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it's this one, set password. Yeah, because then you need to send the password email, and yeah, I won't do this here, I think. Yeah, let me get it here. The send password email. Set password, sorry. So yeah, and there is this logout one. So I will. I think there is one other that's forgot password. Yeah, exactly. You say forgot password, and it will send you an email to the reset link. That's really nice. Like it sends you an email, and then you can like you get the email, and then you can reset the password. That's what I was trying to say. Because I don't have any mail configured and it takes a while to do this, I will show only the set password, and I think we can watch the video if you guys want to. But yeah, from what I recall, is mostly it. Yeah, let's see it here. Yeah, it created the whole post markup. Like, yeah, that takes a while. Yeah, guys. Yeah, user roles. I haven't seen this one. Oh, it uses a library, I think, and I think it's yeah. So let me do the reset one, the change password, so that you guys know how to do it, and then we can maybe watch the video on user roles and yeah, and external providers, and yeah, we'll call it a day. So what I will show you now is how to reset your password. As you can imagine, you can only reset your password from the server. It's server only. So let me do here. Find here. Set password. It's in here somewhere. Set password. So forcibly change a user password. What I will do, I will create a method here called async um, change user password. And what I will do is, as you can imagine, I will like await the exact. I have the user ID by calling Meteor user ID, and that's the nicest part about Meteor. And I set his new password, and that's it. And we are good to go. I think it should work. Now let me think on a logic here. Probably I will say something like here again. I will use this user ID. If I'm logged in, user ID, I will have changed the user password, and I will change the password to password, and that's it. Change password to password to password. So let's start now. Start a server, change password to password. What we will do, actually, I forgot that I wanted it to log out me, because then yeah, doesn't make sense, right? Like you change your password, you should be logged out, because then if you're yeah, default true, yeah, default true, yeah, so it's good to go. So if we click here change password to password, it will log out me. Wait, account set password is not a function. Account set password is not a function. Hmm. Yeah, that's not good, that's not good. May let me just think about this. Yeah, I think I've seen somewhere that's they haven't updated the docs or something like this. It's now set password async actually. Yeah, that's weird, right? Like that's really weird. Let's try it again now. If I try to run change password a to password, yeah, it worked. Yeah, something is wrong here. Set password is not a function. Yeah, wait, but it's correct, right? Let me try it again. That's really weird. So if I try here, I try to do. Oops, let me refresh the page. foo.email.com, and I say password is foo. Incorrect password, but if I say oops, password, oh, it's good. It works. Nice, 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 nice. So I'll log out and I will try to create a new user. So new at email.com, and I'll say that my password is nil. So it works. Now let's change our password to password. Oh, it works. I thought it had some issue here. So if I say I'm new at email.com and my password is password, it works. So yeah, that's the whole like changing your user's password. You can do all sorts of things here before you run this. You can check if he has received the 2FA, and we have functions to that. But you can create your own, right? Like you can create like if the user has a next specific thing, they can do this. So yeah, that's really nice. I've talked so that just so we get recapped here, I've talked about the sign in with password, the sign up with password, the verifying user. That's not the thing that I did, but it's still the same. We customize the user. Now we're gonna be seeing a little bit about protected routes and then user roles. So yeah, I would change the screen so that it can change here, and hopefully the mods will change the way the layout is, and then we can watch those classes and we get back. So let me change the screen. It's here, protected routes. I'm sharing it now. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's see it. Now it's bigger. Let's see if there is no audio, let me know and I'll try to add an audio, but for now, let's see.
Hi, in this video we are going to implement a way for us to keep the users in the correct spot. If they are logged in, they just can access the home page, and if they are not logged in, they also can't access the home page. And the opposite as well. Like if the user is already authenticated, logged, we don't want the user to go to the sign up or the sign in page. So we are going to do these two ways to handle if when the user is logged in and when the user is not. So let's do it. So starting by our router component, what you need to do.
Actually, I realized that I've talked about this one. We need to talk about user roles actually. So let me just get started this video again, and yeah, let me just get from scratch here.
And with this admin,
Let's get started, guys. Sorry about that.
hello, in this video you are going to learn how to use a package to control the roles of your user. So we are going to create an admin role, and with this admin role, we are going to be able to delete a transaction. We are going to do this in a page so you can revert the balance of the wallet. So let's do it. Let's read how this package works. So we have here this learning roles package. This package is available in Meteor community for a long time. So it's a really nice package. We have a lot of like advanced use case, but let's focus in this simple case here. So what you need to do, you want to create like an admin role, like here, and then we want to add this role to our users, like this. But so you know, this package can do a lot more than what you're going to do in this video. We could have like a multi-tenant application, and then you could put, for example, the domain of this tenant and have different roles for specific domains or specific tenants or specific scopes, as is the name of this feature. But right now, we are just going to play with a simple admin flag, but let's use this package so we learn a little bit more about it. So if you scroll down here, you can get this Meteor learning roles, and let's install this package. Okay, now we have the package installed. So we are going to create a file to configure this package in our application. So this is I'm going to call roles. And of course, I'm going to import Meteor here. And as we can see in the package instructions, we are going to call roles create role. So we are going to copy this import from here and also copy this from here. This is going to create in our database a role called admin, but it's not going to assign it to any user yet. But I don't want to use like plain strings like this. I would like to create a constant. So I'm going to create like wallet rows, the rows of our application, and I'm going to create this file now. So let's create this here, wallets, wallet rows. Let's export it, and then you're going to have admin as admin here. Okay, so we don't have like plain strings everywhere in our code. But now we also need to assign this role to a special user. In this case, I'm going to use my email, and I'm going to put this inside a Meteor startup. So Meteor startup, when the server starts, we are going to get this, and I'm going to provide the user here. So I'm going to fetch my user, meteor.users.find one, using the email, philippe@coav.dev. So all the time when I get this user, I'm going to check this to see if this user is already an admin or not. So we can, it's like a way to set up our database in the way that we would like. So I'm like a special user here. So if I don't have the user, or if my user is already an admin, so is in role is the way to ask this using this package. You provide the user ID, and then you provide the wallet roles, the name of your role. So if the user is not in the database yet, or if you don't, it already have this role, we don't need to do anything. So I'm going to return. But if you have the user and the user doesn't have this role, we need to add this role. So I'm going to call roles.add users to roles user ID and wallet roles.admin. Okay, so now if we go to our application here and we create this user, we can stop our app and start again. So this piece of code is going to run, and we are going to have this role assigned to this specific user. Of course, you could have a page where you can go and you set up these roles, but here I'm just doing this simple hard-coded way where I get a specific user and I assign a specific role. Let's check this in MongoDB. So we have this MongoDB here, and as you can see, nothing is happening. Why? Why these collections are empty? Because we are not importing this file. So we should import this file in our server. So let's go here and import this file. Let's hit save, and let's see what happens now. It restarts, and boom, we have the roles here with the admin, and we also have one assignment here with my user ID, and you can double check this in a second, and the role admin as well. Let's check if this is the correct user. Yes, MAD, and the same one is here, MAD. So my user now is an admin. Like we have a way to detect that using this package. So what you needed to do was first get the user, check if the user was or not with this role, and then you could add the role here. Okay. One other thing that I would like to do to avoid some errors from this package is to put here unless exists. Otherwise, when I restart the server, it's going to produce an error saying that this role already exists. So we don't want to recreate this role. So we need to provide this option here. Now let's try to create a page that will have this specific rule that needs to be admin. So I'm going to go to my UI folder, and let's create another page like reset password that's going to be remove transaction. So we are going to be able to remove transaction only if you are admin. So I'm going to very quickly change a few things in this page. So we don't need to have this token. We are going to change this to transaction ID. Transaction ID. Okay. Error trying to remove a transaction. We don't want to provide this. This is going to be a Meteor call. So we call this providing a transaction, and this method name is going to be transactions.remove. Okay, I will clean up this. The transaction was removed. Is going to be the success message. I'm not going to redirect the user. Okay, we are going to change this to remove transaction. We are also going to remove this to remove, change this to remove transaction. Here is going to be transaction ID. Transaction ID, we don't need the type because it's going to be text. Transaction as well, transaction ID. Okay, can be go back to Rome, no problem. Remove transaction and remove. Okay, maybe we update everything. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. And you have removed transaction. So we are going to go to our router now, and we are going to duplicate this one. We are going to create another one here that's going to be called remove transaction. Remove transaction. And we are going to use this component here. And for now, I'm going to remove this layer of protection because we are going to add a new layer of protection. So remove transaction. Okay, let's see if this is working. Of course, we didn't create our method yet, but we are going to do this next. But let's see first if our router is working. For now, we are not filtering for admin, so everybody can access this route, including like anonymous user, but we are going to fix this really soon. Okay, if you send this, of course, the method doesn't exist, method not found. So let's create this method, transactions.remove. So we already have a transaction methods file here with the insert. We are going to duplicate this. Okay. We are going to deny it if the user is not here. We are also going to just check the transaction ID. Check transaction ID if it is a string. We can also import this check. It's like Meteor/check. Check. Okay. This is the transaction ID. We can remove this code here and you can replace by transaction and transaction ID. Okay, and you need to remove this to, yeah, change this to remove. Okay, now we have a way to remove. Let's see if this is working. So we are going to go back to home. I'm going to add some money here. Okay, then we need to check the database. So let's refresh. Let's get our transaction ID. So the transaction is in the database. I'm going to the remove transaction and I'm going to remove this transaction. Success, let's see. Okay, the transaction is in fact removed from the database, but we have a problem here because we didn't reverted this transaction in the wallet. So let's implement that before we go back to try to prevent non-admins to use this method. So we need to open our transaction collection and we have it here. And we're going to also duplicate this before insert and we're going to remove to before remove. If it's a transfer, what you need to do? We don't need to check the balance because the money is going back to the account and you need to change this to the source wallet to be a positive value. And if you are like doing reverting an add, you need to do the same, but you need to revert the balance that was added to this account. And let's fix this from the other lesson that we don't have this destination contact ID here in the wallet, but it's just a fix from previous videos. Okay, so now we have this. When you remove a transfer, you add the money back. And when you remove the add, we subtract the money again. So let's save. I'm going to fix my database manually here because this should be 0, right? Because we removed the transaction. Let's add to this field and change to 0. Okay, now we have the correct state. So let's add some money again, 500. Now let's go to remove transaction page. Let's get our transaction ID, ZU6, and let's remove. Okay, success. So now if you go to our homepage, it should be 0 again because we removed the edge. So our code is working. Let's try with a transfer as well. Let's put 500 again. Let's transfer. Oops, we need to create a contact. So my contact at quav.dev, 123, transfer 50. Okay, 450. Now let's get the new transaction ID for this. Is this transfer that you want to delete? And let's see if that's going to return the balance to 500. Remove it. Okay, 500. And you should not have two transactions here, just one. So now let's prevent other users that are not admin from doing this action. So we have two layers here. The first layer that you want to protect is the UI. Like you don't want the user to open a URL that he's not allowed to do. So first we're going to create, like we have the anonymous only, we are going to create an admin only. We could publish our permissions to the client, our roles to the client, but I don't want to do that. I want to preserve my roles only on the server. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call a method here. So the way that we are going to do this, we are going to have a use effect from React. And I don't want this effect to run more than one time, so it's fine. And we're going to have a state here. So it's going to be isAdmin, set isAdmin. It's going to start empty. And then we are going to call Meteor.call using check isAdmin. That's going to be the name. Or we can have the same pattern there, like roles isAdmin. That's, I think, a better name. And then you can just get the result back. So we have error here and isAdmin return. So we are going to check set isAdmin return. So we're not going to expose all the roles here in the client. And we are going to see if like isAdmin, see it's loading or isAdmin is still null or undefined. When you use two equals, it's going to be true for null or undefined. We are going to still return loading. And when you have the result back, we are going to consider this like if it's not admin, we are going to send it to home. And if it's admin, we are going to render the children. Okay. And also if there is an error, we should set this admin as false as like a safety measure. And we're going to return here. Okay. We are not checking like the logged user because the user is going to come from the server in the same way because we are going to check if you have the user there. So you could remove this here and you could simplify this as well. So we are going to see how we are going to implement this. Okay, now let's create the roles method here. Roles methods. And let's import Meteor, Meteor.methods. So we can have this roles admin as a function here, and we are not going to receive any args here, but you need to get from our this, the user ID, and if the user ID is not here, we are going to throw an error, access denied. And if the user is here, we need to check the same way that we are doing to know if the user is an admin. So we need to import a learning roles here one more time. A learning roles here. And you need to check users is in role. Let's double check if that's the correct spelling. We have this here in the roles file. Okay, user is in role, not user. So user is in role, user ID, wallet roles, dot admin. So this is what you want to return, right? Like this is true, so it's an admin. It's false, so it's not an admin. And if you have an error, we are going to provide us access denied. Okay, let's go to our admin only. So we have role is admin. We are not providing any args, and you get in this return, and you are setting here. And if it's not admin, you are going to redirect. So now we need to use this admin only in our router component around this element. And before we test, we also need to import these new methods here. So roles methods. Okay, so let's refresh here. And let's see when you go to remove transaction. Okay, we can see this URL, but that was already happening before, right? Everybody could see it. So let's log out and let's try to refresh it. Now we are going to the sign up page. That's cool. So now let's sign up with a different user that's not going to be admin. Felipe2 is not an admin. So I'm going to sign up and I'm going to try to go to remove transaction. Oops, I can't go there. Now if I go back here and I sign up again with this email, oops, I need to sign in, sorry. And if I go to remove transaction, I can go there. So our code is working as expected. So we can use this to identify if the user is admin or not. But we need to do a last check here because when the user is calling remove transaction, it's going to not check this right now. Like we're not checking anything here if the user is admin. And if you, I don't know if you know that, but you can call Meteor methods using Meteor.call from here. And if I do like this, it's going to remove because I'm not checking here. I'm just checking in the page. So we need to also add this check here. So if the user is not with the role admin, we should throw a new error as well. Permission denied. Okay, and we also need to import the roles here. Okay, now we are sure that the user can't also try to remove using the console. That was it for this video. Now we have a safe way to render a route. We also have a safe way to run a method just based on the roles using this package learning roles. So see you in the next video. Bye.
So yes, that was nice. Yeah, this was really cool actually because yeah, it has a little like knowledge that we did because it expanded a bit about protected roles as well. And yeah, what I would see is if the package has been updated because I'm not sure if it has. So I'm sure there is oh, something's wrong here, guys. Yeah, something's wrong. Let me, yeah, because I thought I was sharing the whole screen. I'm actually not sharing. Now I'm sharing the whole screen. Yeah, now it's good. So what I wanted to say is let's check if the Allen Rolls package has been updated. So uh, roll, meter rolls, I always forget. Meter rolls. So meter rolls is actually a package here. Let's see. Yeah, let's wait a bit while it's being published, and we'll see if it works currently. Let's see, we have a pull request here. Yeah, version 4. Yeah, for Meteor 3. So actually, what I think is going to happen is going to be like we'll need to have async functions everywhere. So for example, I don't think people have started it. Yeah, let's check another one. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't searched about it, but I feel exactly this. Like this package, the roles one, is not yet done for Meteor 3. So this is a package that will need to a new, not a course, but a new analysis on top of it. For example, when you use the is in role, for example, now it has to be an async. So, for example, when we saw it here late earlier, when we user is in role, you could use like this and it would work. But now you're gonna be needing to use like an await because this is gonna return a promise. So I guess for most it will work. It will be fine. And yeah, oh no, I think that's not 2.0 from this package. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a 4.0. So yeah, it's a little bit sad. I think it happened the same thing with schemas. Like the schemas we weren't able to test it because it hasn't been updated to Meteor 3 as the time of this recording. It might have been, and I might like write down a video, write down a post about it. How do you update your package? But probably it's gonna be you have to do an await on top of everything, and everything will be fine. So that's nice, right? And yeah, you saw how it works normally the user roles, and it's really useful for checking if the like having to check in like like having to check if the user has an admin, if he's like if it's allows or something, and without having to check with the profile, it gets out of hand fairly easy. So it's nice from a package for this. And now, what we're gonna see is the how to use passwordless. I think I've mentioned that we need postmark. Yeah, we need postmark. So that's a sad one, but I think it haven't changed much. It's gonna be like the add and await as well. So yeah, what we're gonna do now is gonna see the external providers. This one is really nice, and I think for like 99% of it, it's still valid. So yeah, what you see is this one, and let's get started. Let me change the screen again, and I think what has changed. Yeah, for recall, yeah, exactly the if you add this, it will work exactly the same because you click in the sign in with Google, sign in with something, and it will work. It will go to the OAuth, So for many, it's essential to do like a request like GitHub off or something like this. You log in with Facebook, log in with GitHub, log in with something, and it just works. For me, it's insane. This like I can add the I log in with GitHub and it will work. Like you add here, log in with GitHub or something, and yes, exactly. So let me play the video. You guys gonna see it, and yes, perfect. So let me get in here. Let me change the screen again, and we can see the video. And yeah, perfect. It's here. Let's get started. If you guys cannot hear it, please tell me no. But I think everyone can hear it. Oh, nice.
Hello. In this video, we are going to learn how to use Google to authenticate our users. So our users don't need to create an account directly in our system. We are going to use Google as an authentication provider so they can use the Gmail account to authenticate into our system. And you can just rely on Google to really make this authentication happen in a safe way. Okay, so let's do it. You need to have a Google account and you need to go to console.cloud.google.com. So if you don't have any project, you're probably going to see a little bit different this page, but you can go to somewhere where you have like new project like this. So I'm going to create a new project here, University Wallet. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, create. And it's creating my project. Okay, let's select the project. And now we need to go to APIs and services because we need to create the authentication credentials. So we go to credentials. As this is the first configuration in this project, we need to create a consent screen. Okay, so we need to configure this. I do this very quickly here, so you can move to the next step, okay? But you just need to provide information about your application. Okay, now we have set up our of consent screen. You need to publish this app if you want to make it like available for everybody later. But let's go to our credentials again. And now you can create the OAuth credential here. And here is important that you select web application. Then we need to put the project name. Let's put just wallet. And we also need to put here what are the authorized URLs. So make sure you also add your credentials from production or stage environment. Otherwise, it's not going to work when you deploy your app there. And let's put also this return URL. Okay, let's create this. And now we have our client ID and our client secret, and we need to add this to our project. So in this case, I'm going to add this to my settings, but remember to not store the settings in your GitHub. So let's open the settings here and let's create a new property here, Google Client ID. And now let's copy the secret, Google secret. Okay, and copy the secret. Let's save. Now you need to use a package from Meteor to also connect this data to your code, to your environment. So we have a bunch of packages here from Meteor to authenticate with Facebook, with Google, with other providers, but you want to use Google. So we're going to add accounts Google. So let's add this package. Okay, now we have this package and all the dependencies as well. So we need to go to our accounts file and let's create a Meteor startup hook here so we can set up this configuration. We basically need to read from our settings and load the settings here. First, let's make easier to access the settings. Just put Meteor.settings. And you can also do like this if you don't want to break, in case the user is not providing like a settings when you are going to check here. So we are going to check if you don't have the settings, Google Client ID, or if you don't have the setting, Google Secret, we are going to throw a new error like Google Client and Google Secret are required. So we don't let this app run without this. Now you can also use service configuration. This is a special collection from Meteor that stores these configurations in MongoDB. So we are going to include the service Google here. And this upsert is going to put our credentials there. So we are going to have service Google here again. And then our client ID is going to be settings.google client ID. And our secret is going to be Google secret. So we are copying from our settings and we are applying this to this special collection that Meteor uses to configure these authentication providers. And we also can import this service configuration from Meteor/service configuration. So let's import this here. Okay, this is the first step. So now our app is configured. Let's see how our MongoDB is storing this data. As you can see, we have in MongoDB this login service configuration here, and we already have our data stored here. We could even remove this code, but I think it's easier to make it like this. But if you don't want to store these credentials anywhere and just in your MongoDB, you can just delete this code and apply like a migration to your database. Okay, now we need to change a little bit our access page one more time because we want to have two options to log in, passwordless authentication and also Google authentication. So let's create a div here. And it can be like a flex column, so flex call. And we can put another one here. Let's put a button on click login with Google, login with Google. Okay, let's create this function. Let's convert to arrow function. So we have a method here now that's called login with Google. And I usually like to provide this login style redirect. So it works better for web applications, in my opinion. But I think that's basically it. And I think we can test now to see if it's working properly. So let's return to our system. Let's go to our access page. So now we have this button here. We still need to style it, but let's see if it's working. Okay, the redirect is working. We are going to the Google page. Let's select this user. Okay, it seems that we are not authenticated. We can be sure that if it fails in the client, if you use Meteor user, yeah, it's returning null. Let's see what's happening. Okay, we have an error here. It's because we got an error, cannot read the property 0 of undefined. Let's see what is this code. Okay, this code is when you try to copy the email. But when you have like this other authentication service, maybe the email is in a different location. I think we even have an example here in this page where it shows like it's in a different way. Like for each service, the Meteor collection will have like services, the name of the service, and then the data inside. So that's probably what's happening. So we don't have like the email here. So let's do this. Let's put some logs here. Let's put a log for options, another log for user, and let's do it again and see how this object is coming from to us. Okay, we probably have the same error, but it should have some logs. Yeah, we have the same error here, but now we have some logs. And as you can see, you have the services key, and then we have Google, and then we have the email. So that's another benefit of copying the email. So now we can copy the email in both cases, and always the email be in the same spot for us to use in our application. So you don't need to worry like from where this user is coming. So we can even have a better code here. Let's extract this to a method that I'm going to call get email from user. So I'm going to provide the user, and here I'm going to have customized user dot email, and you're going to get the email from user. So first, let's see, we just have two options. So first, let's see if the user has services and Google. Okay. And you don't want to have an error here. So we are going to check if this is optional. And if the user does, we are going to return this dot email because we saw in the logs here that we have this property email here in Google. Okay. So I'm not going to remove the logs yet, and I'm going to add one more log here just to make sure we have the proper location. And let's fix this signature. So I had get email from the user. I always prefer to have arrow functions when I don't need to use this. Okay, let's save. Let's clear our console. Let's click again. Okay, now we redirect to the home page. So I believe it's working. And we have the email here. And let's check MongoDB just to be sure our user is created correctly. Yes, we have the email here and we have the service here as well. So everything is working properly now. Okay, let's improve the style of this button a little bit. I'm going to use the same color from here. So we have other buttons. Let's check our buttons that we have. Indicate 100. We have in the wallet, I believe. We have a few buttons here. Let's copy the style so we have the same look and feel. Yes, I think this is going to work. Okay, let's put this class name here and see how it works. Okay, it's just huge. Let's align in the center and see. Okay, it looks better now. So maybe just need a little bit of spacing here. Spacing. Let's see. Okay, maybe need like a or or login with Google. Yeah, let's put this font a little bit in a different style. Light. Yeah, or login with Google. So now the user can authenticate with Google or with the requesting a token here. One other thing that we can do that is just like a nice tip if you're working for a specific organization, you can go to the account and there is a special configuration here that you can say what domain the user should be to be able to authenticate. We could do this like in the onCreate user. You could have like if the email, the customized email user different different than blah blah blah, and it could throw an error. But this package already provides this configuration for us, so let's use it. Let's remove these logs so we don't have this weird code here. And here we can also do, sorry, not here, here. We can also configure these accounts to have this option, restricted creation by email domain. And then you can put here just clav.con.pr. Now, if a user tries to authenticate with a different domain, this is not going to work. So that was it for this video, and also that was it for this section. I hope you have learned at least 3 ways to authenticate users, like with password, without password, with Google. And I recommend you to try other ways like Facebook or GitHub, or even your Meteor developer account. You also can create authentication with it. I hope you have enjoyed this section, and see you later. Bye bye.
So guys, what you guys thought about it? Like, yeah, let me. I hate how loud it is, but let me change the screen and present again and the entire screen. And yeah, that was the whole section. Like we did the whole section. It was quite quicker today from what I could see. And yeah, here he shows how to implement using Meteor account and especially the using the Facebook one. So yeah, I recommend you guys checking it and trying by yourselves. This one is really fun because it has a lot of places like GitHub and Facebook and let's see, there's a lot of them. I can't remember by my like from now, but like those are the big ones. And yeah, it's fairly easy as you might see it. So I recommend you. Do not forget to, for example, when he shows an upsert or some MongoDB operation, and he says when he's using one of them, when it's in the server, you could use the upsert or update async so that it doesn't throw an error if you're using Meteor 3. If you're using Meteor 2, that's okay, but thinking on Meteor 3 and not to have issues there, I recommend you to use the async counterpart. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I think you guys have seen it. When I say counterpart, I mean like let me do a zoom in here. Oops. Zoom in. Um, when I say async, I mean like update async or set password async, so that probably there will be an like it will work fine. And yeah, so for the accounts part, that's pretty much it. Isn't so big, isn't it hasn't so many features, but the nice part is helps you to do a lot of things fairly easy and fairly quickly. And I've done like by hand, not using libraries, and it's a lot of our time. So yeah, guys, you should use it. Should embrace the Meteor account thing packages. And yeah, tell me what you know. If you have any questions, I'm always here to answer them. And yeah, really nice to see you all here. It was a great live stream. So let me just check if we have anything from our or mods. But I think what we developed today, and it was really nice to develop the use starting with Meteor accounts. Then we could like set up using password, set up like set up logins. Like you have sign up and sign in. We could verify if the user has already an email. We could reset our password. We checked if user roles are already migrated to Meteor 3, and we haven't done that migration yet, but we probably should do as soon as possible. And we talked a little bit about how you can create profile and add some data to our users so that you can like have some information about it when you call Meteor user. And we also had a little bit of external providers. And yeah, if you want to see the section that recommends you to see your socials, and especially the sections, you can find in the how to add an email and do the email part. That's really fun to use postmark and so on. So the key point of this live stream were we learned a lot about how to use passwords, and that's really nice. Well, I would probably push this to GitHub, and later I will share somewhere, I think in forums or somewhere else, the source code of this. But it was mostly just like importing the accounts and just using their API, following the docs, and it was really nice. And yeah, for those that want to further and learn better about how to use accounts, we have a guide on it on how to be better on this, on how to run this. I've sent the link there. Oops, it's not this one. It's let me get it here. Is in the guide meteor.com, and I think it's somewhere in here about users and accounts here. So we can get in this, and if you guys can see this, yeah, meteor guide slash accounts. That's the URL. That will help you a lot how to build functionalities. And if you want to see how the accounts are going, you can always check in our docs. So this is the 3.0 docs, so that you can see it. If you have any doubts, you can ping us, make us like an issue on GitHub if you have anything that you want to be answered. And yeah, let's see what else I have to say to you guys. I think was this. I would like to thank you again, everyone. Thank you a lot for the participation today, for those that have helped me, for those that have watched everything, and for those that will ping me later, ask me questions later. I love you all. It's really nice to have you always here. If you want to see what we are doing when we have new live streams, you can always follow us on Twitter, on GitHub, on the forums, and in all our socials. I think the mods will send the links there. So follow us on those social medias. And yeah, and please do not forget before we go, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. So yes, please, thank you a lot. And yeah, it was a really nice live stream, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I think everyone had a great time. So bye bye.